Reading Srimad Bhagavatam 9:24-61. Kalau janisyamananam dukkha soka tamo nudam anugrahaya bhaktanam supunyam yatano yasaha. Kalau, in this age of Kali, Janisyamananam, of the conditioned souls who will take birth in the future, dukkha sokha tamaha nudam, to minimize their unlimited unhappiness and lamentation which are caused by ignorance. Anugrahaya, just to show mercy, Bhaktanam, to the devotees, Supunyam, very pious, transcendental activities, Yatanod, expanded, Yashyaha, his glories or reputation. Translation: to show causeless mercy to the devotees who take birth in the future in this age of Kali, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna acted in such a way that simply by remembering Him, one will be freed from all the lamentation and unhappiness of the material existence. In other words, He acted so that all future devotees, by accepting the instruction of Krishna conscious stated in the Bhagavad Gita, would be relieved from the pangs of material existence. Can please repeat? To show causeless mercy to the devotees who take birth in the future, in this age of Kali, the personality of Godhead Krishna acted in such a way that simply by remembering Him, one will be freed from all the lamentation and unhappiness of material existence. In other words, He acted so that all future devotees, by accepting the instruction of Krishna consciousness stated in the Bhagavad Gita, would be relieved from the pangs of material existence. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Lord's activities of saving the devotees and killing the demons, paritanaya sadhunam vinasya duskritam, take place side by side. Krishna actually appears for the deliverance of the sadhus or bhaktas, but by killing the demons, He shows them mercy also. For anyone killed by Krishna is liberated. Whether the Lord kills or gives protection, He is kind to both the demons and the devotees. Yasmin satkarna piyuse yasyas tirtha vare sakrit Sotranjali upasprishya vidunoti karma vasanam. Simply by receiving the glories of the Lord through purified transcendental years, the devotees of the Lord are immediately free from strong material desires and engagement in fruitive activities. Right? Simply by you want to repeat? Simply by receiving the glories of the Lord through purified transcendental years, the devotees of the Lord are immediately freed from strong material desires and engagement in fruitive activities. When the devotees orally receive the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as enacted in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, they immediately achieve a transcendental vision in which they are no longer interested in materialistic activities. Thus they have achieved freedom from the material world. For sense gratification, and practically everyone is engaged in materialistic activities which prolong the process of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, birth, death, old age and disease. But the devotees, simply by hearing the message of Bhagavad Gita and further relishing the narration to the Srimad Bhagavatam, become so pure that he no longer takes interest in materialistic activities. At the moment, devotees in the Western countries have been attracted by Krishna consciousness and becoming uninterested in materialistic activities, and therefore people are trying to oppose this movement. But they cannot possibly check this movement or stop the activities of the devotees in Europe and America by the artificial imposition. Here the words Srotanjali Upasprisya indicate that simply by hearing the transcendental activities of the Lord, the devotees become so pure that they are immediately immune to the contamination of materialistic fruitive activities. Anya bilasita sunyam bhaktirasam tu sindhu. Materialistic activities are unnecessary for the soul. Therefore, materialistic activities are unnecessary for the soul. And therefore the devotees free from such activities, the devotees are situated in liberation, Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate, and therefore they cannot be called back to their material homes and materialistic activities. I guess I will read the translation. Assisted by the descendants of Bhoja, Vrishni, Andaka, Madhu, Surasena, Dasahar, Kuru, Srinjaya, Pandu, Lord Krishna performed various activities. By his pleasing smile, his affectionate behavior, his instruction and his uncommon pastime like racing Govardhan hill, the Lord appearing in his transcendental body pleased all of human society. The word Nirlokam Ramanya Asa Mritya Sarvanga Ramyaya is significant. Krishna is the original form, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is therefore described here by the word Mritya. The word Murti means form. It's a very important point. Murtiya means form. The Lord is not impersonal. Krishna, God, is never impersonal. The impersonal feature is but a manifestation of his transcendental body. Yasha Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti. The word is Nara Akriti, exactly resembling the form of a human being, but his form is different from ours. You understand this point? Bhagavad Gita. Avajanante ma mudha manusyata tanam ashritam. Therefore, the word Sarvanga Ramaya informs us that every part of his body is pleasing for everyone to see. Another important point. Sarvanga Ramayaya. Every part of the body of the Lord. Angani. What's that word? We chant in the morning. You know? Morning we chanting, no? Every day we no chanting. What are you doing? Right. So every part of the body of the Lord is very pleasing. That's why he is called Krishna. Very, very attractive. Yes? Apart from his smiling face, every part of his body, his hand, his leg, his chest is pleasing to the devotees who cannot at any time stop seeing the beautiful form of the Lord. Actually, there's so many verses on this point here. That the devotees cannot, they call Brahma is a fool, you don't know how to make eyes because it's blinking. So he's not a very perfect creator. Because of the momentary blinking, they are disturbed because they cannot see Krishna, you see. Right? So they are upset with Brahma. Of course, otherwise, Krishna's face is decorated with ornaments such as earrings resembling sharks. He has got earrings which are shark-like. His ears are beautiful, his cheeks are brilliant, he is smiling attractive to everyone. Whoever sees Lord Krishna sees a festival. The word is here, I think. Festival, what is that? Yes. Nitya Utsavam. That Utsava means festival. Nitya Utsava means unending festival. Yes. His face and body are fully satisfying for everyone to see. But the devotees are angry at the Creator for the disturbance caused by the momentary blinking of the eyes. This is the verse. Huh? Lord Brahma, you don't call him a jinx. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita himself, the Lord says, Manusyanam sahasreshu kasyid yatati siddhaye yatatamapi siddhanam kasyim mam veti tattvataha. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and out of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Unless one is qualified to understand Krishna, one cannot appreciate the presence of Krishna on earth. Among the Bhojas, Vrishniyantakas, Pandavas and many other kings intimately related with Krishna, the intimate relationship between Krishna and the inhabitants of Vrindavan is especially to be noted. That relationship is described in this verse by the word Nitya Utsavam Na Tatrapu Drishabir Pibayanti Pibantyaha. The inhabitants of Vrindavan, especially such as the cowherd boys, the cows, the calves, the gopis and Krishna's father and mother were never fully satisfied, although they saw Krishna's beautiful features constantly. Seeing Krishna is described here as Nitya Utsavaha, a daily festival. The inhabitants of Vrindavan saw Krishna almost every moment, but when Krishna left the village for the pasturing ground where he tended the cows and the calves, the gopis were very much afflicted because they saw Krishna walking on the sand and thought that Krishna's lotus feet, which they dare not place on their breasts because they thought their breasts not soft enough, were being pierced by broken chips of stone. By even thinking of this, the gopis were affected and they cried at home. These gopis, who were therefore the exalted friends of Krishna, saw Krishna constantly, but because their eyelids disturbed their vision of Krishna, the gopis condemned the Creator, Lord Brahma. Therefore, the beauty of Krishna, especially the beauty of his face, is described here at the end of the 9th canto. In the 24th chapter, we find a hint of Krishna's beauty. Now we are proceeding to the 10th canto, which is considered Krishna's head. The entire Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam is the embodiment of Krishna's form, and the 10th canto is his face. This verse gives a hint of how beautiful his face is. Krishna's smiling face with his cheek, his lips, the ornaments in his ears, his chewing of betel nuts, all this minorly observed by the gopis, who thus enjoyed transcendental bliss, so much so that they were never fully satisfied to see Krishna's face, but instead condemned the Creator of the body for making eyelids that obstructed their vision. The beauty of Krishna's face was therefore much more appreciated by the gopis than by his friends, the cowherd boys, or even by Yasodamata, who was also interested in decorating the face of Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, known as Leela Purushottama, appeared as the son of Vasudeva, but immediately left his father's home and went to Vrindavan to expand his loving relationship with his confidential devotees. In Vrindavan, the Lord killed many demons, and afterwards he returned to Dwaraka, where, according to Vedic principle, he married many wives who were the best of women. He got through them hundreds of sons and performed sacrifices for his own worship to establish the principle of householder life. In the Bhagavad Gita it is stated 15:15, Vedesha sarve aham eva vidya. By all the Vedas it is Krishna who is to be known. Lord Sri Krishna, setting an example by his own behavior, performed many ritualistic ceremonies described in the Vedas and established the principle of Grihastha life by marrying many wives and begetting many children, just to show people in general how to be happy by living according to Vedic principle. The center of the Vedic sacrifice is Krishna. Vedescha sarve ahameva vidya. To advance in human life and human society must follow the Vedic principles personally demonstrated by Lord Krishna in his householder life. The real purpose of Krishna's appearance, however, is to manifest how one can take part in loving affairs with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Reciprocation of loving affairs in ecstasy are possible only in Vrindavan. Therefore, just after his appearance as the son of Vasudeva, the Lord immediately left for Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, the Lord not only took part in loving affairs with his father and mother, the gopis and cowherd boys, but also gave liberation to many demons by killing them. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 4:8, Paritranaya sadhunam vinasacha duskritam. The Lord appears in order to protect the devotees and kill the demon. This was fully exhibited by his personal behavior in Bhagavad Gita. The Lord is understood by Arjuna to be Purusham, Saswatam, Divyam, the eternal, transcendental Supreme Person. Here also we find the word Utpadya Teshu Purushaha. Therefore it is to be concluded that the absolute truth is Purusha, a person. The impersonal feature is but one of the features of his personality. Ultimately, he is a person, he is not impersonal, and not only is he Purusha, a person, but he is the Leela Purushottama, the best of all persons. Thereafter, Lord Krishna created a misunderstanding between family members just to diminish the burden of the world. Simply by his glance he annihilated all the demonic kings on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and declared victory for Arjuna. And finally he instructed Uddhava about the transcendental life and devotion and then returned to his abode in his original form. That? Paritnaya sadhuna vinasya duskritam. The mission of the Lord Krishna was performed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, for by Lord's mercy Arjuna was victorious due to being a great devotee, whereas the others were killed simply by the Lord's glance, which cleansed them all of sinful activities and enabled them to attain Sarupya. Finally, Lord Krishna instructed Uddhava about the transcendental life of devotional service, and then in due course of time he returned to his abode. The Lord's instruction in the form of Bhagavad Gita and full of jnana and vairagya, knowledge and renunciation, the human form of life. One must learn these two things, how to become detached from the material world and how to acquire full knowledge in spiritual life. This is the Lord's mission. Paritnaya sadhunam vinasya duskritam. After executing his complete mission, the Lord returned to his home, Goloka Vrindavan. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 9th canto, chapter 24 chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Krishna, the personality of Godhead. So why I have chosen these verses is that it gives a complete glimpse of the activities of the Lord. So at least having to read the whole 10th canto is going to take us, a lot of time. So the point here is that the Lord particularly chose to come at the beginning of this Kali Yuga. See? He personally chose to come. Why? Because he knows that this age we are going to start is going to be terrible age, It's going to be what? Very, very, very painful age. Understand? It's not lightweight. So he wanted to help us. The same point is also spoken by the Lord. It's here, another verse here. Yeah, see this same thing. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the reservoir of all beauty. All beautiful things emanate from him, and his personal form is so attractive that he steals the eyes away from other objects, which are then seem devoid of beauty in comparison to him. When Lord Krishna was on the earth, he attracted the eyes of all people. When Krishna spoke, his words attracted the minds of all who remembered them. By seeing the footsteps of Lord Krishna, people became attracted to him. And thus they wanted to offer their bodily activities to the Lord as his followers. And this way Krishna very easily spread his glories, which are sung throughout the world by the most sublime and essential Vedic verses. Lord Krishna considered that simply by hearing and chanting those glories, conditioned soul born in the future would cross beyond the darkness of ignorance. See this point? Yeah? Being satisfied with this arrangement, he left for his desired destination. So this is exactly the same as this verse. There is some adjustment. So you can see that the conditioned souls are destined for, what is that just now? Soka? What? Just now we chanted? What is that? Soka what? Huh? What? Dukkha Soka Tamo Nudham. So we are now caught in Sukha. Actually it's a fact, Look at what we are going through now. Happiness. Every day you are putting something in your nose. Okay, happiness. You have to put this every 2 weeks once or what? Huh? Nice. You like? Huh? Tell me. Right or not? We are forced, is it not, to do many things against our wishes. So, soka, lamentation, right? And what? Dukkha, unhappiness. Tama. Tama means what? Mode of ignorance, correct? This is what we are seeing every day. I'll go to that verse. What was that? 24:61, the first one, no? See how kind Krishna is, Krishna knows, Krishna knows that we are going to go through this extreme suffering. To show causeless mercy to the devotees who take birth in the future, in this age of Kali, the Supreme Lord Krishna acted in such a way that simply by remembering him, one will be freed from all the lamentation and unhappiness of material existence. In other words, he acted so that all future devotees, by accepting the instruction of Krishna consciousness stated in the Bhagavad Gita, will be relieved from the pangs of material existence. Yeah, how much compassion, why he particularly choose to come, especially just before the beginning of Kali Yuga? Because this age is a terrible age. Every one of us is suffering like anything. Yes, the fact. Can you imagine how much miseries that the Lord understanding this? So he chose to appear at the beginning of in fact it is end of Dwapara Yoga. And beginning of Kali Yuga, there's a Sandhya, It lasts about, there's a figure for that, How many years is that? That Sandhya, every Sandhya is some years. So you see how at that period the Lord appeared before even Kali Yuga starts, you see.
Adi 3.29.
Thus, thinking thus, the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna himself descended at Nadia early in the age of Kali. This is the Sandhya, no? So, the Pratama Sandhya is the beginning of the age. According to astronomical calculation, the age is divided into 12 parts. The first of the 12 division is known as Pratama Sandhya. The Pratama Sandhya and Shesha Sandhya, the last division of the preceding age from the junction of the two ages, according to the Surya Siddhanta, the Pratama Sandhya of Kali Yuga lasts 36,000 solar years. Lord Chaitanya appeared in the Pratama Sandhya after 458 4,586 solar years of Kali Yuga had passed. So Krishna appeared in these 36,000 solar years, you know. Huh? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. No, but he is in the end, no? Before the Kali Yuga began, no?
So 12 parts of Dwapara Yuga is 72,000. And then first part of Kali Yuga is 36. So together 108,000 years. So Yuga Samhita of Dwapara and Kali.
So how many years Krishna appeared? Is almost the end of beginning, before Kali Yuga began, the Sandhya, the junction between the two yugas. You understand? It's not that just as this what Dwapara finish, immediately Kali Yuga start. No, there is a grace period. So this the period is explained here. So you can see how at that time when Krishna appeared, he was very, very concerned about his main. You see how the Lord is so much, what we say, kind, that he wants to save the people who are going to come in. You already know. Actually, he told Uddhava, he said, don't stay here. You please go away quickly, because Kali Yuga is not for any. It's only for crazy people. You know that? He said, please go away, don't stay. Why people like us, crazy, taking birth? You understand? So nevertheless, you see the point, that Kali Yuga is so bad that we are caught in this, burning cycle, this age is not that it is so easy, We are caught terribly, My dear Lord, for one who has been cruelly burned in the blazing fire of material miseries, having fallen to the network of material existence, I do not see any possible shelter beside your two lotus feet, which are a shower of nectar, extinguishing the fire of suffering. This is spoken by Uddhava. Yeah? See that? We are what? My dear Lord, for one who has been cruelly burned. See the word he is using. Actually not cruelly, we are roasted. That's the word. We are what? Roasted, yes. See, is it not? Huh? And the blazing fire of material miseries, having fallen to the network of material existence, I do not see any possible shelter besides your two lotus feet, which are the shower of nectar, extinguishing the fire of suffering. Again, same point Krishna is saying, only my lotus. That's why he stands in a very peculiar way. How is he standing there? Huh? Right? Exposing what? Lotus. Yes? So try to understand. Again, he says further here. Material existence is like an ocean that is extremely difficult to cross. The conditioned souls have fallen into this ocean, which is not cool, but rather burns them with the fire of misery. For one who has fallen into the sea and desires to get out, there is no rescue boat. There's no rescue boat. Don't think you can call some SOS signal and something will come. There's nothing. No rescue boat except the constant relishing within oneself of the pastime narration of the Supreme Personality of goddess. I mean, look, I didn't choose all these words, Don't think I'm making your day unpleasant, Eh? Is it? You see? Correct? So we all agree that we are now burning, roasting, whatever. Yes? Yes or no? So the solution is also there. It is not that there is no solution. The solution is there. What is the solution? We have to take shelter of the Lord. In other words, we must get attracted to Krishna. We must get attracted to only Krishna. Not anybody else. Anything else you get, it's not going to work. Only person you can get relief is to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of God. Hey, see, of course, you may just say, why, the Lord, if you making so difficult. But no, He acted in such a way that He will attract our minds. Uncommon pastimes. He performs what? Just now we read, right? He does uncommon pastimes. Who can lift it up? Who can lift up Govardhan Hill? You can. Huh? You trying? Can. You know first where is Govardhan Hill or not? Do you know where it is? Vrindavan, correct? It's still there. He left behind and he didn't made an issue that he just lifted up and took it away. So you may be suspicious. But the hill is still there. Yes, still he lifted up. That. And that also how he lifted up. Some people, getting weight. You've seen people carry weight. They put 20 bells on their body. Have you seen that? Have you seen the weightlifters? To carry up some 100 kilos or whatever. So many bells. They're puffing and so many things. But Krishna lifted up very easily with what? Left hand somehow. Which hand? And left hand, the smallest finger also, see? So you see how he demonstrated his pastime. And that also at what age? What age he lifted up Govardhan Hill? What age he lifted up Govardhan Hill? 7 years old? 7-year-old boy. He lifted up with his little finger. And he held it for 7 days. This is not possible. Of course, people who don't believe, like Kamsa, what is this boy? He just lifted up this, toadstool, he say. And he doesn't believe. You understand? But Krishna, he held it 7 days. Not only that, he also had so many other pastimes. Killing Putana, Bakasura, Agasura, so many he killed. And they are not like your Spider-Man movie. Have you watched your Spider-Man movie? Something, wow, the guy is like a spider. When he got stung some spider and he became like a spider. And then it's the whole story, like Krishna never had to get stung by a spider to do all this stuff. You understand? He is what? God through and through. Even as a little baby, he was God. Even as a little baby. Not that he became God after 7 years or 10 years. No, he was God through and through. When Putana came to kill him, and he was about how long? How many months? I think 3 months. She came with the poison to kill hundreds of men. Hundreds of men who die simply by touching her nipple. That much poison she put inside. And Krishna, simply by drinking the milk from a breast, he what? Sucked the life out. Finish. She died. And on top of that, after dying, he gave her the position as mother. So who will do that? You will kill someone and promote her to mother. You will do? Huh? You see how amazing the Lord. So kind. Oh, never mind. He didn't see the part. He came to kill me, this rascal woman. No. He came to give me milk. That he saw. You understand? This is Lord's unique, what we say, quality. Yes. So, Krishna's activities are very wonderful. That he, even if he kills someone or he loves someone, he gives equal benefit. And by hearing about his activities, one gets mesmerized. So it's uncommon past. Same way he killed, who is that? Aghasura. Correct? Aghasura, when he killed, he was what? He came out. When he came out, then the Aghasura's soul was loitering outside. Anybody happen like that? Someone dies and you see his soul loitering. And immediately after he came out of the mouth of the Aghasura serpent, then the soul went to the body of Krishna, merged in his body. So you see how transcendental Krishna's activities are. It is, described by, even by Bhishma Dev who was dying. He said, I want to see these activities. He saw this form of the Lord because he was fighting with him. No, he said, actually, I enjoyed this scene more than Arjuna because Arjuna was staying at the back. Arjuna was what? At the back. He could not see Krishna in the front, correct? So Bhishma Dev was glorifying. I could see, how, his swear, his fighting, his anxiety, so many things Krishna. Krishna don't have anxiety, but to protect his friend, he portrayed himself as full of anxiety, holding the griddle, this, that, with the whip, with the reins, and seeing that scene, I'm completely, That's why Krishna's name means is all attractive. So the whole idea of all this is to attract us. Because we are living in this age where we are highly contaminated. You understand? In fact, I'm already an old man, practically, going to be 66 in a few days' time. But how much contamination now compared to, say, 60 years ago? As I was giving the class on just 2 days ago, how the electronic age has gone, but is it not? From nothing to black and white to color, and now it is in your what? One hand beat back, one this one. Yeah? Yes? Like this. This is modern age. One hand what? Moving here, one hand moving here. Yeah? Maya and Krishna. This is what? 2000 and what? 20? See how much? Before, only one hand worked. Correct? Now both hand is working. How much Maya has infiltrated? Yes? No, Prabhu, I am giving a purport to this news I am watching. Hare Krishna. See, you shouldn't do like Hare Krishna. Yeah? Yes? How contaminating the age has become. How much more? I don't know. They have things that, is so mind-boggling. How to trap the mind into sense gratification. They have perfected it. Correct? They're knowing the art of how to bring about the mode of passion to the max. The mode of passion to the max. That your mind, you know what I mean, entertain, in a very, what we say, completely in a bewildering manner. Yes? Correct? You see, once you watch the YouTube or you watch the Facebook, you cannot stop. Yes? How powerful this technology. But that's a saving grace. That is a saving grace. If you get attracted to Krishna, then Maya is powerless. Maya is powerless. In fact, it is said here, this Maya which is so formidable, which is burning like anything, if you take shelter, Samasritaye pada pallavaplavam mahatpadam punya yesho murari bhavambude vatsapadam parampadam padam padam yad vipadam natesham. So, if you take shelter of Krishna, for those who have accepted the abode of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation and the famous as Murari, the enemy of Mura demon, the ocean of material world, like the water contained in a calf's hoof print, the ocean of material world, like the water contained in a calf's hoof print. Their goal is Parampadam, Vaikuntha, the place where there are no material miseries, not that the place where there is danger at every step. So this dangerous place, this burning place that we are now caught, this whole thing gets reduced to the size of a ocean, gets reduced to the size of a calf's hoof print, which you can easily cross. You see, if we get attracted to the Lord. This is the point. If we get attracted to the Lord, yes, immediately everything is what? Maya loses its what? Powerful effect of contaminating our consciousness. That's why to save us again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came 500 years ago, correct? To teach us another new thing, that you chant my name. This is a saving grace. In Kali Yuga, there is no other way actually. That's why if anyone can get attracted to hearing about Krishna, talking about Him, chanting His name, is said to be the most fortunate person in the three worlds. Because if you come in contact with Krishna, then your material life is finished. Your material life is, I have quoted that verse many times, no? 7:37, right? Yes? You see, this is the saving, yeah? The real problem of life is the repetition of birth and death, which is like a wheel rolling repeatedly up and down. This wheel, however, you see the word, completely stops. This wheel completely stops when one is in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the medicine to cure this problem. In other words, by the transcendental bliss realized from constant engagement in devotional service, one is completely liberated from material existence. All learned men know this. Therefore, my dear friends, the sons of the Asuras, immediately began meditating upon and worshipping the Super Soul within everyone's heart. This is the what? The cure for the disease. It is the what? Cure. And then there's another place. Although I was born in a demonic family, and I may without a doubt offer prayers to the Lord with full endeavor as far as my intelligence allows. Anyone who has been forced by ignorance to enter the material world may be purified of material life if he offers prayers to the Lord and hears the Lord's glories. Anyone who has been forced by ignorance to enter the material world may be purified of material life. He offers prayers to the Lord and hears the Lord's glories. That's why it is very simple for us. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us the mercy of what? Chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. This is our saving grace. And you can see, if you take up the process of doing it rigidly, at least regularly, you can see a big change in your own life. You don't get that so much of roasting, yeah? Yes or no? Unless you want to enjoy Maya, then that's another thing altogether. But if you sincerely try to follow the instruction of the spiritual master, then the solution is, right? Firstly, you are not attracted, right? Secondly, you are saved. You are more attracted to hearing about Krishna, pastimes, thinking of Him, then the Maya. Maya will leave us the moment we take shelter of Krishna. That is there. Unless you want Maya also, then that's a problem. You know? Yes, that's why it also says here, in this verse, the devotees of the Lord constantly discuss the glories of the personality of Godhead among themselves. Thus, they constantly remember the Lord and remind one another of His qualities and pastimes. In this way, by their devotion to the principle of Bhakti Yoga, the devotees please the personality of Godhead, who takes away from them everything inauspicious. Being purified of all impediment, the devotees awaken to pure love of God, and thus even within this world, their spiritualized body exhibits symptoms of transcendental ecstasy, just such as standing on the bodily hairs on end. So by hearing, so this is the medicine for curing our material disease. This is the what? The material disease. This is the medicine for curing our material disease. Is it? Bhava Ausadhi. Bhava means what? Repeated birth and death. Ausadhi means medicine. Chotra, Mano Abhiraman. Chotra means what? This medicine is taken by the what? Not by the mouth, but the ears, heard. And Mano Abhiramat, usually medicine is very bitter, correct? Nobody likes medicine, correct? But this medicine is what? Very pleasing to the mind. What is that medicine? Glorifying the Ka Uttama Sloka Guna Anuvadat. See that? If you take up this medicine, you are going to become cured of this material disease of birth and death. Glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in the Parampara system, that is, it is conveyed from spiritual master to disciple. Such glorification is relished by those no longer interested in the false temporary glorification of the cosmic manifestation. Description of the Lord, a right medicine for the conditioned soul, undergoing repeated birth and death. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher or one who is killing his own self? Now, of course, you may then say, but the Lord came 5,000 years ago, people like Arjuna, Bhishma and all, they saw the Lord, and of course they could what? Have some easy method of remembering the Lord. Yes, like us now, how to do it. Therefore, it is one verse. What is that verse? Therefore, Krishna has descended. After Kali Yuga, in this age of Kali, Krishna has descended in the form of Bhagavatam. Yes? What is that? 1:3. So here, see, you may say that, Krishna was there, is all right now. This Bhagavata Puranam is as brilliant as the sun and is risen just after the departure of Lord Krishna at his own abode. Accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc., persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Puranam. So, Krishna said, there's another verse. So Krishna is so kind, that's why he gave this to have the conditioned soul, he did this. Not only he came to do pastime, but he also came Jivere Kripaya Kaila, Krishna Veda Puran. The conditioned soul cannot revive his Krishna consciousness by his own effort. But out of causeless mercy, Lord Krishna compiled the Vedic literature and his supplement, the Puran. So Krishna, in order to save us, right, he has given his pastimes all recorded in the Vedas and Puran. Especially here referring to the Srimad Bhagavatam, the last book written by Vedavyas. In fact, Narada Muni chastised who? Vyasadeva. The reason why you are becoming unhappy is because you have failed to describe the glories of the Lord. You have failed. You understand? So we should describe the glories of the Lord. He said to Vyasadeva. And then Vyasadeva, he wrote, correct? Just you see, Vyasadeva wrote, Lokasya Ajananto. What is that? 7? 7, no? 6. This verse here. Anartha upasamam sakshat bhakti yogam ajokchaja lokasya ajananto vidwan chakre sattvaha samitam. The material miseries of the living entity which are superfluous to him can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this. Therefore, the learned Vyasadeva compiled the Vedic literature which is in relation to the Supreme Truth. And you see, if you get into this by hearing about the Lord, from hearing from the Bhagavatam, from a realized soul, you see this verse again? Just now we started the class with this. What is that? Dukkha, Soka, Tamo, Nudam, correct? Here again. Soka, Moha, Bhaya, Aha. What does this verse mean? Simply by giving oral reception to the Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotion service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of limitation, illusion and fearfulness. That we started there, you see how. So our success will be strongly, firmly catching the lotus feet of the Lord. And that can be done very easily by how? How is it done very easily? How? Haribol? No answer. What happened? Eh? This is how we can capture the Lord's lotus feet very easily. Simply by chanting the holy name, simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, one can obtain freedom from material existence. Indeed, simply by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, one will be able to see the lotus feet of the Lord. Period. What? Simply by what? Hare, holy name is what? What is the holy name? So this. So I have explained why Janmashtami is important. Yes? Correct? Why the Lord particularly comes, beginning of Kali Yuga. Yes? I have explained how we are all caught. Particularly to save us, the Lord comes. Yes? And how we are all been in terrible miseries. Yes? And I have explained what the Lord's pastime and what is the benefit of seeing the Lord's pastime. Yes? And how to get hold of, come to that level. Yes? So I have put it in a little order for you. So Janmashtami means trying to become attracted to Krishna's pastime. Yes? Any questions on this? No questions. Comments at least? No comment also. Is there anyone? I don't think anyone will be online today. They won't know today. Huh?
What is the 10:33:36?
What is that verse? 10:33:36. When the Lord assumes a human-like body to show mercy to devotees, He engages in such pastimes as will attract those who hear about them to become dedicated to Him. Very nice verse. So therefore, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnuhu. Yes? That's what we have to do. Chanting. And of course, maybe you may say, initially I am chanting, but I cannot, get attracted. But the solution is to keep chanting. The solution is to keep chanting. Not you chant one time. Because unless you are so pure, you chant one time and all tears and ecstasy rolling down. But I don't know. At least I am not in that category. This much, maybe you are. So we have to continuously what? Yeah? You can see here, this is the solution to that. Yeah. Nama parada yuktanam namam eva harantya gaham. Avishranti prayuktani tena eva artha karanicha. Even in the beginning, one chant the Hare Krishna mantra with offenses. One will become free from such offenses by chanting again and again. Yes? Papaschayascha bhavanti smarantam tam aharnisham. One becomes free from all sinful reaction if one chant day and night following the recommendation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, chanting what? Continuous. Then we will develop that desire. Again and again chanting. Understand? Yeah? Alright, we will stop here. Anyway, no prasadam, right? Everybody looked dried up.
Yesterday night only I had to feast.
Oh, yesterday you had a feast. Still hasn't digested, I think. Yes? And tonight, fasting until 12 midnight. Huh? Everyone fasting? Everyone feasting. Fasting, feasting. Fasting. I'm sure you can do until 12 midnight, right? Yes? How many of you are doing this for the first time? You the first time? Wow. Who else? You also first time? Wow. Very good. So you wait until 12 midnight, huh? You don't break the fast. Right? So be patient. Try to chant as many rounds as you can. And of course you got many services also. Yeah? Devotees like to chant 64 rounds today. And then Prabhu, I do 46, Prabhu. So I know you got a lot of work also, so more you chant, the better it is. Huh? Today at least. Alright. So, okay, thank you very much for participating. I see the Lord is very beautifully dressed today. Nice outfit. I think many people will be coming today, so you please try to talk to them also. Preach them, encourage everybody to chant at least Krishna's name, and their life will be successful. Right? Correct? No questions, huh? Alright, thank you very much. Sri Krishna Janmashtami ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanandi.